Caitlin Clark quietly makes WNBA history amid on-court chaos against Connecticut Sun. After 3 disappointing losses in a row, the Indiana Fever didn't just show up, they erupted. First, they smacked the undefeated New York Liberty with a 102-88 win that had everybody talking. And just when you thought they were done, they turned the heat all the way up against the Connecticut Sun in one of the wildest, most chaotic games we've seen this season. It was fiery, messy, and physical as hell. But you know what didn't change? Caitlin Clark still made history, even when everything around her was on fire. Look, we know for a fact that ever since CC stepped onto a WNBA court, historic moments have basically been following her around like a shadow. Tuesday night was the same script, different chapter. Clark put up 12 points on 4 of 7 shooting, grabbed a board, dished out 5 assists, snagged 2 steals, and knocked down 3 triples, all in just the first half. While the stat line itself was solid, it's what came with her 4th assist that had the record books flipping pages. Clark entered the night with 108 points and 46 assists on the season. So, once she crossed the 50-assist line, it was another record. According to Polymarket Hoops on X, she's now the fastest player in WNBA history to hit 100 points and 50 assists in a season. Want to know who held that record before? Caitlin Clark herself. She needed 8 games to get there last year. This season, just 6. It speaks volumes about how much more dangerous she's becoming. But that milestone somewhere got overshadowed under all the madness that went down on the court. Because this game had everything. The tension had been simmering from the jump, but it absolutely boiled over in the third quarter. Clark was driving into the paint when JC Sheldon, who was glued to her defensively, poked her straight in the eye. CC fired back with a few choice words, and things escalated real quick. A little shoving here and there, and then out of nowhere, Marina Mabrey came flying in and shoved Clark to the floor. It ended with texts for Mabrey, Clark, and Tina Charles, who jumped into the mix too. And that wasn't even the end of it. Not long after, Sophie Cunningham got into it with Sheldon in what looked like a straight-up revenge foul situation. That scrap ended with 3 more ejections. Even both coaches looked fed up, calling out the officiating after the game. But at the end of the day, the Fever handled their business. They walked away with an 88-71 win and are now headed to the Commissioner's Cup. The last day of Commissioner's Cup play was eventful, to say the least. After a chaotic, fiery slate of Tuesday night matchups, we finally have our title game. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are headed to face Napheesa Collier and the Minnesota Lynx on July 1st for the Cup crown. The Lynx have battled the New York Liberty in both last year's Cup final and the 2024 WNBA Finals. But this time, it's Indiana stepping in with momentum and edge. After all, they just handed the Liberty their first loss of the season. And despite New York bouncing back with a win over Atlanta, the Fever edged them out in the East tiebreaker. Meanwhile, out west, the Lynx handled their business against the Las Vegas Aces. Sure, the Aces kept it close in the first half, but Minnesota shut the door in the second, outscoring Vegas 46-23 for a 76-62 win. Courtney Williams was on fire with 20 points, while Diamond Miller and Natisha Heedman combined for 24 off the bench. But that game also ended with Napheesa Collier leaving the game early in the third with a back issue. That injury is definitely something to watch. With 2 weeks to go before the big game, Minnesota will be hoping for good news. Because if the Lynx want to repeat as Commissioner's Cup champs and mount another finals push, they need Collier on the court. The Fever may be new to this Cup spotlight, but they're surging. The Lynx have the experience. We can't wait for July 1st.